Oh, yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the greatest fictitious. You know what? I did that wrong. Let's start it back. Mean by God, Gene. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest fictitious college football show in the land, baby. It's called The Gridiron. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode brought to you by the Sideline Junkies and the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. It is me, your host, the Midnight Rider. Of course, we got the super producer in the background, helping me out run things, getting through the prompts. That is the big guy, KG. Got a lot of information for you folks. We missed last week because life was lifing. We've gone a couple weeks. We're up to week 13 now. Season 4, if memory serves me correct. I can be corrected. Season 4, week 13. We've had some controversy, got a little drama in the house that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But we're going to get you up to date on weeks 12, week 13. Talk about the college playoffs that we have coming up to date. And then we got a little thing. We got to address the pink elephant in the room, baby. They call it the heist in the big house. We will address that situation later on. But first and foremost, KG, how you doing? And if you can't talk, it's cool, man. I know you on meatloaf duty.
I'm so excited. I just can't speak, man.
It's all good, man. And why I got you up on the thing, the last 3 shows we've done as part of the Junkies Network, I've been doing producer and hosting. And I got to give you your flowers, bro. I've never had to think that much ahead of time and try to get things situated. So what you do is greatly appreciated. Whenever BJ does it, whoever has to host, contribute, and keep things in order, that's a tough job, man. It's a tough job. I'm glad you do it, and I don't do it on a regular basis.
I appreciate that.
All right, folks. All right, so what we're gonna do right now is get you up to date on some of the user teams and the games they played in week 12 and week 13. Starting with week 12, we got Notre Dame 45, Florida 0. You have Colorado losing to Georgia 24-7. You got Maryland beating up on Vanderbilt, right? I'm sorry, Purdue and Penn State. I apologize, I missed that one. Purdue 17, Penn State 10. Big upset there. Looks like Penn State was ranked 14 going into that matchup. Maryland beats Vanderbilt 35-20. Alabama 23, Ole Miss nothing. I actually watched that this morning. That was a typical Alabama game. They stayed close early. They pulled away late. They finally got to hit some of their shots, and next thing you know, it was ball game, and they were up 23. Another team it was done for them. It was a wrap. So, that was week 12, right? Did I miss anybody?
Yeah, don't forget. Yep, you Michigan 45, Indiana 20.
Okay, and I think I missed Texas.
That's
13.
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's week 13 for Texas. They haven't played yet. They got Ole Miss, which is a SEC matchup.
So that's one of the last games we have before we advance. And when we do this next advance, it'll be the 24-hour windows until we get to the college football games, right?
Yep, until we get the bowl games. Because unfortunately, all of us would love to see a computer simulated Army versus Navy game, just to watch it. But this is not like previous iterations of the game where you can just click on the game and be like, you know what, I want to watch that.
Got you.
So we got that.
All right, and then the other game that we have yet to play is the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm struggling at 4-7 against the Texas A&M Aggies. I thought Texas A&M would have been still at the top because they had such good recruiting classes coming into the first iteration of this game that some of that talent would still be there. Colorado, did they make a change at quarterback yet? Or are we still
I've been in talks with the Colorado head coach. I've been in talks with him. I've been harping on it. He has a great backup quarterback. He's a little raw, but he has a great backup quarterback. I said you should switch to him and see what you got. I mean, this he needed 2 more wins to be bowl eligible, and it didn't happen. So he has not made a switch yet, but his recruiting class may not be tops on paper, but it looks pretty goddamn promising for next year.
Okay. I would definitely get that if he's got a kid that's raw, get him at least one, because what they play 12, 13 games. If he plays 12, get him this game, and then I would focus on him in the all season and see what you can do. I'd have him in a practice facility and everything, trying to upgrade some of those intangibles and some of those measurables, and that way, when the season starts, you have a better quarterback to go to. If you don't have one in your recruiting class. Side note, did you see Bryce Underwood yesterday standing next to Alex Orji at Michigan practice?
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh, that kid Underwood is, if he can somewhat be competent as a quarterback, he's gonna be something special. He and DJ Lagway are gonna lead the country into the future. Back to our world, back to what we do. We had Alabama play. What is this? This is their bowl game? No, it's November 27th. Okay. Alabama versus LSU. Go ahead. You good?
No, this is I forgot. I thought Alabama played, but this is rivalry week. This is Alabama versus LSU to finish the season off.
Nah, what threw me off was the banner in the middle of the thing. That's why I was like, wait a second. And of course, my eyes ain't as good as they used to be. I see now that it says rivalry. I thought it was like a bowl game symbol. Let's see. Week 13 for the Fighting Irish. The Fighting Irish are playing 51-0 against Stanford. Ooh, Lord. I watched a piece of this early, but once it gets out of hand, I had to let you go ahead and just finish this out. What were your thoughts on your game?
Revenge. All about revenge. This was nothing but revenge. I've been on a revenge tour all season. I had 3 losses last year. And the 3 losses that I had, Texas A&M was one. I beat the dog, out of Texas A&M this season. Stanford, USC. Those are 3 games that I wanted to atone for last season. Unfortunately, I lost earlier in the year to Kentucky. And the way Oklahoma is playing knocked me out of the SEC championship because I wanted another crack at Alabama. Not going to lie to you, not going to sugarcoat it. I wanted another crack at Alabama. I'll see Alabama down the road. And I'll just leave it at that. But this was a revenge game. That's the only thing that was on my mind. I was tasting blood. It was blood in the water. I was a shark. They were prey.
Okay. Yeah, you and BJ both went up and put 50 burgers out. And speaking of BJ, the Maryland Terps defeat Illinois. The Terps are 10-2, 7-1 in conference. Playing against the 4-8 Illinois team, 2-6 in conference. Score was 51-0. I just love the way BJ plays offense. I know I say this every week, but it's like he always knows where the open guy is. There are teams he struggles with, but that offense hums on a good level. Now we get into the big games and the big guns of the week. Oregon versus Penn State. Penn State 21, Oregon 7. Oregon is 11-1 on the season, 7-1 in conference. Penn State is 9-3 on the season, 6-2 in conference. It's a big upset for Penn State. This probably puts Oregon in a little trouble with the Big Ten championship game coming up. It's going to be interesting to see how many user teams get in because you guys were crazy and put a bunch of teams in the SEC and the Big Ten. And I think y'all kind of took each other out to some extent. I see Michigan's ranked 5, Maryland's ranked 4 in this iteration. You're ranked 11, you being Notre Dame. It's going to be interesting when we get down to it and see how it goes. Then we get to the big daddy of them all. We get to Michigan playing Penn State at Michigan. The game has been deemed the heist at the big house. Ohio State 7, Michigan 3. Ohio State is 8-4, 6-2 in conference. Michigan is 9-3 on the season, 6-2 in conference, ranked 5th in the nation. I watched this ball game from the Rudy to the Tootie, and it was just amazing early on how stacked the defenses were playing. I think we were at 3-0 at halftime. Then we get to the infamous, we go through the third quarter scoreless. Both teams kind of move the ball, but they seem like they get stumped in the middle of their drives. And then we get to the fourth quarter, late in the ball game. I think we're under 2 minutes. Michigan is playing defense, and Ohio State lines up for a field goal. Ohio State gets the snap down, gets the kick up, goes through the uprights, and then the heist happens. There's a flag on the play. Penalty is called roughing the kicker, which gives new life to the Ohio State Buckeyes, at which point the Buckeyes take advantage of the play, drive in, put 7 on the board, puts Michigan in this point where it was pretty much 1 or 2 plays and they were done. We get the final score 7-3. Upon replay, the flag was thrown for roughing the kicker. The problem is everybody that's watched the replay has not seen the kicker fall yet, not seen the kicker get hit yet. People are wondering if there's a fix in. Did the refs have money on this ball game? But the way this ended, it messed up a really good ball game. This was probably one of the best games defensively. It was a classic. Both teams went back and forth. Both teams tried to take their shots. Unfortunately, when we got down to the end, it was I don't know if it was a computer error, computer glitch, but we ended up with Ohio State getting a phantom call, the phantom foul, the phantom penalty, whatever you want to call it. And Ohio State walks away with this with a 7-3 victory. I know Michigan was very upset. Last night, listening to the post-game press conference, Coach Darnell was very livid about how the NCAA, the referees, the Big Ten referees, did a horrible job in calling this, officiating this particular play. This probably would be one of the greatest rants in post-game history, right up there with Dennis Green's "They Are Who We Thought They Were," right up there with Mike Singletary saying that I can't win with them, won't win with them. Right up there with my guy, the old New Orleans coach, Indianapolis coach, and the playoffs. The rant rivals that. It's in that iteration, that legacy of rants by coaches. I don't know if you saw the game, KG. Did you have any thoughts on it?
It was a Travis mockery, and it should be investigated.
Yeah, the bad thing is you can't put the win back on the board. It feels like one of those Tuesday envelopes you get from the NFL, and they're like, "Oh, we called the wrong thing." Right,
well, hold on. Not so fast there, my friend.
No.
We can actually put the win back on the board.
How can you do that?
Because they have a thing. We haven't advanced. and I'm gonna bring this up to the league commissioners. We might need to take a vote on this. We haven't advanced yet. So because that was a controversial win for Ohio State, and it was a effort of cheating, we can go ahead and we can take that win off the board for Ohio State and give it to Michigan. We can actually do that. That is a good idea, Midnight Rider. We will have to put that.
Make them replay the game.
If we could make him replay the game, that would be great. But either way, we can rectify this. I like this. I like that. I like that you just brought that up.
I was just talking. I don't know what I brought up. I'll take all credit for it though, for being a great idea. But yeah, I mean, I think that's something we have to either look at, and if it's something that we can fix it. But otherwise, I mean, it's just gonna be like I said, it's gonna be one of those envelopes that come in FedEx to the facility on Tuesday. The league tells you, "Oh, we messed it up," and you just got to deal with it, and it does no good for you or your team. But if this is possible, like I said, when anything's possible. So if we can make it work and justify it, I think we should try to take a chance at justifying it. What do we have in the comments? I see a comment out here. BJ says once the game is final, can't change it. So yeah, I think we just have to live with it on this situation. I mean, there's nothing you can do. We know what we saw. I think BJ was the only one that saw it in real time. I was watching it and I had to turn away because, as always, one of my coworkers said something to me as I was at that point. So I take my earbud out to answer the question, come back, and Ohio State's on they're throwing a pass. So now I'm trying to figure out, was there a fumble? Was there how did we get here? Deborah Cox, shout out. How did we get to this point? And then lo and behold, I let the game finish and I rewound back. No, actually, BJ commented about the penalty. So that's how I knew about the penalty after the fact. What about you?
Didn't see it in real time, but I did get I did get whiff of it, and it's been reviewed several times. But I don't. I'm gonna have to look into that. But I think BJ may be incorrect.
Okay.
I think BJ may be incorrect, but we will look at that. The mastermind said I might have a confession. That ref might have been on a Penn State payroll.
Yo, I love the nickname, the Mastermind. That's a great name, man. But no, Penn State and Oregon had a really good ball game because that was really 14-7 to the very end. I think Penn State got a late interception, if memory serves me correctly, and then they take a last minute drive down the field to put it out of hand. But that was a classic because I was waiting for that one. That was one, come hell or high water, I wanted to see Jimmy and the Mastermind go at it because I hadn't really seen him against another one that uses. Oh, you're welcome, my brother. I love great names, man. I'm a man of a million names, so I'm with you on that. But yeah, man, I watched that game and that was a classic. I think actually that was my doubleheader. I had I think it was Ohio State, Michigan, then Penn State and Oregon. And then I had something else. There was a third game I watched. So that was kind of my thing yesterday at work, man. I was just sitting there watching you guys as best I could. If I couldn't see it, I was listening to it. And there was some good games yesterday, man. Definitely some good games. I can't wait to see what Texas does. Can't wait to see what the college playoff looks like. Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and flip to it. Let's see what the projected college football playoff system looks like right now. Ooh, this already stands out to me. Because Sam Houston, Pitt, Tulsa, those are like the conference champions. I'm guessing there's a Pittsburgh, North Carolina ACC championship game possibly on the ledger. which might define that better. I think the guys in the league would want North Carolina to lose that, so they can go. That can push them down and maybe push one of our user teams back up into the playoff. And this is before we didn't advance the week, so this is going to be adjusted once the advance comes in. So Michigan won't be 6. Let's see, who else is it? You won, so you'll probably move up in the list. Oregon lost, so that depends now on, is it Oregon versus Maryland for the Big Ten?
No, it should be Oregon versus. It may be Oregon versus Penn State for the Big Ten championship. I have to look at the standings and let you know.
Okay, I mean, because I know Maryland was 7-1 in the conference. That's the only reason I asked, because that could be interesting. It looks like the boss chimes in. Sam Houston and Pitt, easy Week 12 matchups. And it looks like we have clarification. The Big Ten championship is Oregon versus Maryland. Best records in conference. That's gonna be a big game. That's gonna be a very huge ball game, because that's actually a classic battle all the time anyway. And I would love to see them, if they do play there, that one of them goes into the other side of the bracket. Because up top, it looks like it's Tulsa, Oklahoma. Winner that plays Sam Houston. Georgia, Clemson. Winner plays Alabama. Notre Dame, Michigan. Winner that plays Oregon. So we're going to have some stuff moving around. This is the unofficial. So don't get too tied into this version of the bracket, because, of course, with time and everything else, it'll change. Tulsa is ranked 16. Don't know how they're in the playoff. Is it possible Tulsa's a conference champ? Because that's the only way they should be in there. Because I'm looking at the conferences. I see the ACC. I see the Big Ten, SEC. I don't know if Sam Houston and Tulsa are in the same conference, but I'm guessing that's a conference champion with Sam Houston. And I'm guessing Tulsa's a champion. And that would get you the quote-unquote Power 5 champions in the tournament. Yep. Tulsa leads the American. So that's that one. And then probably Sam Houston leads whatever conference it's in. And that's how you get the those are your top 5. There we go. Sam Houston's Conference USA. So now it all makes sense. Yeah. So now you have your 5 champions, and then everybody else is fighting for everything else. So yeah, that's the situation where you want. Hopefully, you want the Pittsburgh and North Carolina are actually for the ACC title, and you get North Carolina to lose that ball game, and that helps you out. And then you also got rivalry week. Don't know why I can't say it, but more than likely North Carolina plays NC State. That's always a heated ball game. So there's some opportunities for some of the user teams to maybe move up because they're sitting on the fringe at like maybe 13 or 12, and maybe we can sneak another team in that way. As of right now, user teams are Maryland, Oregon, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Alabama. So we can sneak another one in. That'd be awesome. Or if we can keep the ones that we have in the fray, that'd be awesome too, man. Because right now we're 3 years in with 3 users winning it, and this is year 4. And in no particular order, I know the champs are Oregon, Michigan, and Notre Dame. So year 4, if we can go 4 for 4, that'd be a huge plus. Did I miss anything on that? That's right. Is it right? That's the 4.
That's the 3 champions.
3 champions, and then we going for number 4. All right, cool.
And this has to be said too before we get out of here. Oregon lost a regular season game. Oregon hasn't lost a regular season game since season 1.
Wow.
And I think that Oregon lost 4 games. I think Oregon came out the gate season 1. Was it 1-4?
Yep.
Rebounded it and went the distance and won it all. Didn't lose another game after that.
Came in as a
So
12 seed.
that's a long win streak that Oregon had to get to this point. Lose. But here's the thing. Some people are like, oh, they done fell off. No, 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 no. Oregon is probably the best top to bottom team on both sides of the ball. Alabama's behind that and Michigan's behind that. Everybody else is like, behind those three. Those are your three juggernauts because they don't lose very often.
I can see that, and I think Oregon has the fastest linebackers. I think Michigan has the smartest linebackers. And Alabama just has a system. Like whatever it is that the Alabama kid do, he just does it at a high efficient level. It makes sense because it works for him, but it's very consistent. Like I can see him being like a baby Mike Tomlin, where the standard is the standard, type of thing, because that's how his team plays. They play to a set standard. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna take our shots. And defensively, we just gonna be all over the place on you. You're gonna get some blitzing. You're gonna get some coverage, and we're gonna try to take the ball from you.
And I will say this, and this is just me saying this: Oregon, Michigan, Alabama normally sweep the awards every year. When it comes to defensive linemen and defensive awards, I'm saying this as Notre Dame coach, I'm not saying this as a producer, I'm saying this as a head coach. If Bryce Young, my young, talented defensive end, who's a junior this year, son of the great Bryant Young, Notre Dame legend, San Francisco 49er world champion, if he does not win at least one award, I swear I'm going to have him come back next season and he's going to rack up 40 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. So, question for you, because I know you're amongst the commissioners. I know we're ways away from 26, if they're even doing 26. How long do you guys think you're going to do these versions of the season going forward? Like, are we going to be talking about season 10, season 15, or is there going to be a reset and you redo the league and start with start with either new teams or restart the league?
Well, as far as my knowledge goes, we're going to take this until the wheels fall off, until a new game comes out.
Okay.
Because the games take anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes to do. We advance every couple of days. Off seasons, maybe 2 days, 3 days at the most, depending on everybody's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But we can run this to at least. I mean, we talking July. We can run this to at least 20 seasons in.
Okay.
But I'm also trying to get, if 2K pulls this trigger and they come with college basketball, I'm trying to get the guys to jump on college basketball too.
Okay.
And that would be fun. Now that would take a little longer, and Georgetown would be national champs in no time. But I digress.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you holding that to the vest there, buddy. Not going down that wormhole. Anything house cleaning that we need to do before we get out of here?
I think we've covered everything, but if you are watching this, please, please, please. I'm trying to figure out how to get everybody's YouTube up. I'm still working on that so I can put it all on one channel and put everything along one channel so you can watch one station and watch every game of our league. And it'd be kind of crazy. I mean, the best way to do it would be to create one YouTube channel for everything.
Either that, or I would, like, the second they drop it, I would just push. Is there a way you could push it to the Sideline Junkies podcast network, YouTube?
I'll try to figure that out. That'll be something I work on with the new year coming in, time off from work. That'll be something I work on.
Yeah, because so far what I did was I just, every time I think I'm done yet, I might have 2 more people to add, but I've just been adding their YouTube to my feed, subscribing, liking and subscribing their stuff, and then doing it that way. So that way I can go back and just type in college football 25, and whatever games I missed, I can go back and watch. So like last night, I set up and watched Ole Miss, Alabama, and then I watched pieces of Illinois, Maryland, because once Maryland got up by like 23, I was like, all right, this is done. It's a wrap. So yeah.
Well, I will work on that, but also I'll try to start putting up the stream in the Sideline Junkies 24/7 group, because I know I'm gonna put a feel out there, make sure, hey, if you're interested in these games, I'll start posting links and we can really get it going. That way, you know, hey, this is on. Let me subscribe. So, and before we get out of here, Midnight Rider, I love the hat. I love the representation. I appreciate it. Your sideline pass will be in the mail for the playoff, so don't worry about it.
You know this is Sora. You know what? Never mind. I got you. I appreciate it. But just remember, I also get a media pass anyway, so we're good on that. But with that being said, if you guys are looking for a league to join, it's the Sideline Junkies. You can get in contact with any of us, Midnight Rider, KG. You can leave a note on the message board here. Say I'm interested. We'll reach out. We'll tell you what the rules are. So like I always say, if you want that smoke, we got the cigar and the lighter. Let's make it happen. Again, this is the greatest fictitious college football show in the land. It's called the Gridiron. We're at the end of our show. We'd like to thank you for watching. Thank you for coming out. God bless and good night. But there's still a line from the big guy, KG. We don't do no overtime. We are out of here. Thank you.